So what does this mean for programs and projects? So you could start something new. You could take the toolkit that we're developing, and you can run through that whole toolkit and do your analysis and do your research and connect with your existing and your potential and your new partners, and reach out to the regional office and to Oxfam House for support as needed to set up your program. I mean, we'll have some difficult questions that you'll need to answer, which is, what's your capacity? What are you already doing? How much time can you commit to this? But we're open to understanding what your interests are. The second option is you build on what you're already doing. A lot of you are doing a lot of this well work already. You've got the experience. You're engaged with certain communities. You simply want to continue that work and scale it up. Or you want to work in other communities, but within the same type of framework. Well, that's fine as well. It's just saying that we want to make sure you do some additional homework in terms of doing the power analysis, looking at the broader market system. And I'll talk about that market system in a bit more detail in the next slide. But the types of things that, could you go back? The types of things that we have is the toolkit, and we can talk about that more in a second. A country assessment, a website that we're designing which can help you get information and help you talk to each other more within the region, so establish this community of practice. Again, I mean, I recognize that this conference that's been going on for years, I see as something that I just want to take the information that comes out of these events and put it online and help push that discussion more beyond this event. That's the type of thing that we're talking about when we talk about a community of practice. Just helping promote the debate and pulling out some lessons learned. The advisors at regional office level, Value for Women, and the advisors at global, but also maybe advisors from other parts of the world. Asia's doing some incredible stuff in Bangladesh, in the Philippines, in various countries. There's other lessons learned that we can take from other countries. Fundraising and capacity building is something that we're thinking about very much, and I'm working to identify what types of donors are interested in the market-based livelihoods, but of course that responsibility is partly yours because you're in the country and you know which donors are in your countries as well. So, yep. So I've just tried to put together a bit of a timeline. This is not something that's been signed off by anybody. I just put this together as a suggestion, but trying to visualize what this would mean over a period of time. So for instance, imagine that you've got, let's talk about these two first. Imagine you've got a well program going and you simply want to add on your analysis in climate change adaptation. So you start doing your homework on the climate change adaptation, and then at some point, let's say by September this year, you take your market map, some of which you've already been doing in the well methodology, and you start to look more broadly throughout the market if you haven't done so already. But you incorporate things like climate change issues, like resilience questions, and some of the components that you said have been missing, such as doing the gender-based violence and doing a better household analysis. And you put that into your market map, and you start designing interventions based on that more deeper analysis. Now, that would basically keep on going. I'm not saying that well is not existing as a term anymore, but I just simply changed the color to indicate that this would be the type of thing when you're talking about GEM. When you're talking about a one program approach, you're simply, say some country's got an EDP program and it's also got a GROW campaign, and also at some point there's a crisis that's occurred and there needs to be a humanitarian response, then you might start to identify where linkages here are, because you as one or two staff members might have to flip over and do the humanitarian work because that's so much more demanding at that point in time. So it's kind of up to you, honestly. We can't tell you what you need to do in the detail of that one program approach. You need to work out where the symmetries are in this area. And your responsibility is just to feed back to us what you've learned so that we can try and help support you in continuing to do that type of work. And obviously there's other work from other affiliates, and we need to start identifying what the overlapping interests are with other affiliates, which is like what we're doing here with OA this week.